Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Vechain, taking a look at what's been going on and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out today. Okay, let's get right on into this, right? So this is Vechain paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. Now, yesterday I was talking about this move to the downside. This definitely seems to be incorrect now. So I am going to remove this macro ABC structure and I'm going to show you what I actually think this means going further forward. So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. We're going to remove a lot of this noise, and then we're going to break this back down again, okay? So what we have got is a subwave count just here. We have this ABC structure just here. Oh, if I actually put that down, there we go. And then we've got this move, and we've had a pretty decent break to the upside from here. So if I grab this high just here and this low, we can see that the 1.618 has now been met. Just over here, we've gone up higher and we're pulling back down. Now, it does look like we are probably in some kind of overextended third wave by the looks of it, or yeah, something to that effect. We'll just have to keep an eye on that because our target is 3.66, but with the possibility of 4 cent on this next move, and that's a part of this bigger macro. So we're hoping for a macro lower, and it didn't come in, but it does look like we are still tracking these higher moves overall, right? And what's really annoying and odd about this, it looks like it is some kind of expansion here. However, we haven't got a 5-wave drop. But again, these things with Elliott Wave, on these micro cap coins, it doesn't necessarily play out exactly as you would expect. But we definitely do have this play just coming in here, right? And we can kind of mark this up. Again, not following the rules of Elliott Wave theory, if we're being honest about it, but we end up with this move, right? And it's slight expansion to it in this sideways trade, this continuation pattern. And now we're tracking on up. It is also possible that we just fall up here and then break back down. But again, it's getting quite difficult to read this particular correction. I think it's specifically just because there's so much information here going on. But right now we can acknowledge that we have got this move. It's pretty much following Bitcoin. So it's just 1, 2, this being 3, which I don't think we've actually finished just yet. I think we might have finished it here with slight pullback, but it might still be looking to complete that move, and it probably needs to go up a little bit more before we can actually get into that final 5th wave higher. And so just be a little bit cautious on that. I think there's a lot of different ways to kind of look at it. And I'm also going to throw this on right here as well, like there. So 3.495 is also an area that I would also be looking at as well. Basically, this would create a double top with this area here. So if we pull back down and hit this area, this could be a natural point for some kind of rejection. So we're either looking at this as wave 3 here, and our wave 5 is going to come in just like this. That's a possible scenario. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just here inside that subwave, or alternatively we'll move up a little bit more. Now this one I kind of like a little bit more, but I would like us to hit 3.66, but it's possible that we only stop here at 3.495. So we could keep an eye on that. Essentially we are looking for that structure to come on out of here. Now if we take a look at the stochastic, you can see here that we have corrected down nicely, but again, if I bring this up into our bigger view, we have the hourly just now oversold, but the 4 hourly is overbought, the 8 hourly overbought, the daily overbought. So we can't be up in this range for too long considering how overbought we are. But there's a little bit more of a push to the upside to be had. So there's a few percentage points here. Probably looking at, if we were to think about jumping in now, probably safe to look at about 6%. I would look at something like that personally. But other than that, there isn't a lot of upside. And I think I said this yesterday, right? The downside is greater than the upside opportunity here. So just be cautious. I wouldn't want to actively trade on this just yet. I think there's some opportunities to be had on some short-term stuff. Probably that would play out within a few hours, get out, and then wait for this thing to pull back down, because we are still expecting this correction to be over. All of this is corrective. Even this 5-wave move here could be viewed as corrective. So unless we start to see really good structure and we come up towards 4 cent there, which we could do under a zigzag pattern inside this C wave, right? We could have 5, 3, 5, for example, hit the 4 cent, and that could have been right the entire time. But eventually we are talking about moving on down. So we just want to be cautious on this. Nothing is set in stone, and essentially, what we are doing is mapping people's psychology of their movements in the space. And what we are witnessing here is a lot of FOMO, right? People have been bored for 2 weeks. And again, this is a tactic that the whales tend to use with Bitcoin for a bit. They basically stall out the market, make it do nothing but sideways trading. People get incredibly bored. The second that some green candles come in, everyone's so bored they want to FOMO into it, right? Then they get trapped out, and then bam, the price drops. So just watch. There's a lot of strategies that these whales implement in the space. And a lot of this is actually visible under the volume side. If we actually bring the volume in here, we can see, if I bring this back up here for a sec, right, and we zoom on in, what do we see? Well, we see large pockets of selling volume on this hourly chart, right, and we don't actually see a lot of volume for people who want to be buying. The volume spikes up and then it drops back down, right, and so we need to be really cautious that the moves up aren't being supported by volume, and that's a key thing that we have to remember here. Okay, so as you can see, right, we had this move down, pulled the market down, and then slowly just kind of grinded out here, and then we started to basically see a little bit of volume come up, then nothing, and then 2 pieces of volume coming up, then nothing again, right? So what you're seeing here is basically pockets of people buying and nothing more. There's nothing of substance to kind of drive this home. And to put this into context, you can see here when the sentiment is to sell, you can see how high the volumes were. Okay, and when we are looking at buying, let me see if I can find, yeah, actually bring that over here for a second. You can see this kind of volume coming in as we were moving on up. This was more encouraging than anything else, okay? But when we're up over this side, what do we see, right? We're seeing very, very little volume to support this kind of move at the moment. So unless that volume really kicks in a really big way and the sentiment changes in the space, this is going to pull back in pretty significantly, in my opinion. So should be very, very cautious with many altcoins, including Vechain. I do think that we are likely to see a significant pullback. But I do think, we still have our targets here, right? We've got 3.495, we've got 3.66, and we've got 4.092. All of these areas are possible scenarios I have mapped out, and depending on how you want to do your waves. It's unfortunate that we didn't have this pullback down into those lower ranges for some accumulation before we actually spiked up here. So really unfortunate about that. Gutted really, but hopefully that will sort itself out, and we'll actually have a pullback here that will allow us to see corrections, and then another 5-wave move that might take us to 4 cent. That could be a good opportunity for some short-term trading maybe, but we want to be cautious. We don't want to necessarily be caught out anywhere, so it's best to be safe than sorry. So yeah, that's kind of where I sit on that one at the moment. So that's kind of the short-term moves for Vechain. I will leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.